Hi, I'm Manny with Manny's Melting Pot, and today we're going to be doing not your typical red beans and rice. The background usually comes from a New Orleans red beans and rice, but what makes it not your typical red beans and rice is we're going to do a little soupy. Right now here in my area in Southeast Texas, it's getting real cold, it's getting real chilly, and we're not making chili, but we're going to do not your typical red beans and rice. And yeah, let's get to it. Some of the main recipes we'll use in this dish is our smoked tasso by Savoy's. We're going to be using a jalapeno sausage, or you can use any kind of sausage you want to use. Usually we use something local. However, I just ran to the store and I saw this sausage. I wanted to try it, and yeah, we're going to do it. You are going to need some red beans, of course. You're going to need some rice, some celery, a bell pepper. You don't need two. I like to use two just for the color. 1 onion, 3 garlic cloves, and look in the comments below for our seasonings. Alright, so this dish I actually learned on YouTube. I want to give a huge shout out to the Cajun Ninja. This recipe was inspired by the Cajun Ninja, so y'all make sure to go like and subscribe his page, and be sure to like and subscribe our page as well. We'll do it our way, which is Tex-Mex Cajun style, and we'll make sure to put our foot all the way in it, baby. So as a food truck owner, this is one of our go-to dishes in catering. Maybe not so much at events and festivals, but when we get a lot of catering, this is one of the most requested dishes. My guilty pleasure is we're gonna make this and then you can put your twist on it. The twist we do on the food truck is we do not your typical red beans over Mexican rice with melted queso on it. We then top it off with a drizzle salsa, and then we also add a chicken flauta and add some salsa verde on top. And when I'm telling you, that is my go-to. It is something I can eat every day and not get tired of. So hey, if you have your own take on it, your own twist on it, so by all means, go right ahead. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to grab our veggies and we're going to wash them. Toss that in there. Get your bell pepper done. Come over here to our cutting board, stuff over. Remember, cook while you clean and clean while you cook. Alright, we're going to start off by cutting our celery. You just need 3 stalks of celery. Make sure it's washed. And some people pull the sprouts off. I like to leave them on. Definitely gives it that herb, that aromatic. And I like to thinly slice. So my family, they don't want to see or taste veggies, and I get it. I grew up like that too, and I still don't like it. So we just thinly slice everything. Make sure to position your fingernails down into the veggies. That way, if it slides, you don't get cut. Because safety is very important. Your safety and food safety. So my girls love this dish. So the best part about cooking, which cooking is an essential life skill that I think every kid needs to be taught, and to be, you know, self-dependent, self-reliable. So, and that's why I thinly slice it, because once they eat it, they want more and more. And at the end of the day, if you can make them eat their veggies in a different way, let's do it. It might not be the most healthy way, but they're eating them. So instead of all that processed food that we all love. So here we have our celery all diced and chopped. I like to go really thin. Alright, so we have our celery all thinly sliced, diced, chopped, and you just want to put that in a bowl, get it ready. We're going to mix it with the bell pepper and the onion, and we'll jump on those next. And hey, it's okay if some of it falls off. We'll clean it up in just a minute. Alright, so we just want to rinse this off real quick. Alright, and we'll get this bell pepper. You just push that stalk down, pull it out, cut it in half, and remember, you don't want the veins, which is the little white veins right there. That's what makes it bitter. So, but we do want the green part, so we definitely want to keep that. And as you're dicing, you know, you can go long. I like to do everything thinly sliced. We don't want to even see the veggies. We want to see the color, that's for sure. We want to taste it though. Hey, for some people it's the texture, for some people it's the consistency, and some people might just be carnivores. So hey, do you. Alright, so once you got your bell pepper nicely thinly sliced, and remember, you can use a chopper. I just forgot mine, so we're using a knife. But you can use a chopper if it'll speed up the process. But it's always good to get hands-on and, you know, really get in tune with Mother Nature here. She's providing us some of her fruits, and we provide the labor. Fruits of our labor. And you just want to do the same thing with the red bell pepper. We'll dice this, and we'll see y'all for the next veggie. Alright, now that you have your bell peppers cut, you got your red, your green. This only requires one bell pepper. So I just went with a smaller green and a smaller red. I just like it for color. Of course, it has the green pepper has more of a stronger, potent taste, and of course the red bell pepper. I mean, who hasn't had red bell pepper with low ranch on a veggie plate? So it definitely gives it color, gives it a little extra flavor, and then overall, I just like the look of it. All right, so next up is your onion. And I gave a shout out to the Cajun Ninja, and I noticed ever since I said that, I'm like using a lot of his catchphrases, but we'll come up with our own. So you just cut each end off. You just take a small little slice and you peel that thing back. Beautiful onions already making me cry. Alright, throw our trash away. We'll just get this onion. Alright, now that you got your onions, just put that in your bowl. And if you don't have garlic cloves, you can use minced garlic. It's probably easier. Yeah. Real chefs like to throw them, everybody knows that. Three garlic cloves. Once you have 3 to 4 garlic cloves, get that knife pressed down. That'll open up your shell. You'll have your garlic cloves ready to be minced. Alright, this is the last of the veggies. We'll just have to slice our tasso and our sausage, and then we'll get in front of that heat. If you can't take the heat, get out the kitchen. Alright, so you'll mix that in. You notice I got my bowl covered. It is because these onions are kicking my butt. Cover them up if you can't stop crying. Be sure to wipe your area down. And at the end of the day, if you don't, I mean, it's all going in the same pan, and getting some of the veggies on there is not gonna hurt the tasso or the sausage. So we'll get this sliced open. Tasso, what is tasso? I don't know.
I asked what part of
the pig is this, right? I'm not sure, but it's really good, especially when you fry up and let it render down in that red beans and rice. Ooh. And you can go as thin, as thick as you want. We're gonna slice it and we're just gonna put that into pieces.
the shoulder of the pork?
shoulder. Alright, shoulder, smoked shoulder.
Cajun specialty is smoked, spiced, and cured meat.
There you go. You heard it here first. My man Rhino behind the scenes with on the verse.
The word tasso comes from the Spanish word tasajo.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Did you understand what I just said there?
I did not, but I like to
My Spanish bad.
I wanted it sounded like I did.
Tasajo.
Tasajo.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the proper Spanish way.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Tasajo.
Yeah. No, never heard of it.
Slice and cured.
Yeah.
Right.
Ooh. Oh yeah, that's definitely Spanish.
Oh,
Not Mexico. Yeah, because they're all about that. So definitely.
Yeah.
Alright. We get our sausage open. And it's a 16 ounce. So a pound of sausage. Oh, this is a 24 ounce. So we're gonna have a little extra sausage today. So if you want more meat, add more meat. You know, at home, sometimes I add wafer thin pork chops, slice those up. Oh man.
What's your favorite kind of sausage around this area?
You know,
I'm a fan
I'm not a hater.
Smoked sausage.
I'm not a hater, so obviously Zumos. You know,
Yeah.
Zumos is a staple. I love Beasley's. You know, but then again, I like them all, whether it's sausage or boudin, Zumos, JD's, Beasley's. I mean, they all carry good quality, so I like them all. You know, I'm not gonna sit here and say I don't like them or this is way better. I like them all. And you can definitely taste the influence, you know, when you try these different brands here locally. So if you shout out to them, especially if you grew up on it. But if everybody has their own preference, and that's okay.
Yeah. Different spice levels, smoke levels.
Casing, some
Casing,
you know,
right.
I'm all about the casing. I want a nice soft casing. Some people love when the casing cracks, but it pops. So. But this is a jalapeno sausage from home. Alright, once you got your sausage sliced up, you want to mix that in with your tasso. And we got a runaway sausage. Alright, now it's time to get to the stove. Oh. Alright, and we just want to give a huge shout out to our sponsor, Borderline Seasoning. Y'all be sure to go to www.borderlineseasoning.com, order your borderline, and you can have the flavors clash at your pot too. Stop playing with it. Alright, now that we got our veggies chopped, we got our sausage and our tasso sliced and diced, now we move over to the stove. So we have an 8-quart pot right here. What do we have here? If you don't know how many quarts, look at the bottom. 2.5 quart, we're gonna put that for the rice. And then I think this is called, what's this called, Mr. Rhino?
The Dutch oven.
Dutch oven. We're just gonna use it to syrup our sausage. Or actually, we might even throw the beans in here, so we'll do that. All right, let's turn on. We're gonna go to about medium high on the Dutch oven. And we're gonna toss in we're gonna get our beans ready. 1 pound of red kidney beans. If you didn't soak your beans overnight, this is a method to get them done. Now we're gonna add 5 cups of water and a 32-ounce container of chicken broth or chicken stock. Hey, and if you're feeling crazy, don't use no water, use all chicken broth. Get you about 3 of those containers. Just make sure you get the unsalted. If you're gonna add seasons, you don't want it to be too salty. Anyone can make anything salty, but can you make it taste good? That's the trick. So that's about 6 cups of water right there. Probably like 5 1/4, but we'll call it 6. We'll go ahead and throw in our chicken broth. Because remember, this is not your typical red beans and rice, so the consistency is gonna be more soupy, more gumbo-like. I mean, we're already adding the Holy Trinity, so. Definitely not gumbo. We're not gonna make a roux today. And we're gonna put that on hot. We're gonna go ahead and drop in a pound of beans, and we're gonna wash these beans first. Drip. Go ahead and drop your beans in. Let that come to a roaring boil, and we're gonna do that for, it should be ready in about 10 minutes. All right, next up is we wanna get our 8-quart pot ready. Go ahead and put that to about medium high. We don't wanna burn it, but we do wanna get a nice sear to that sausage. All right, so we're gonna turn that down, that flame's a little high. So we're gonna turn that like right above medium. So not medium high, but not medium either. Alright, just gauge it. Alright, once we got that going, we're gonna get our rice ready. We wanna do everything fast and simple, so efficient. Efficiency is key to cooking because you don't wanna spend the whole day or the whole night or whatever little time you have, you know, hours on end on the stove. So we want to do everything at the same time. We got our beans going, we got our sausage and our tasso searing. Next we're gonna get the rice ready. So here we have a 1.5 cups of white jasmine rice. And like I said, if you want to go crazy, do it over Mexican rice. Throw some Tex-Mex Cajun fusion in there. I mean, that's what Manny's melting pot's all about. Bringing the flavors. All right. So we'll toss that. We got a 1.5 cups. So we'll go for every cup of rice, we'll go 2 cups ratio, so 2 to 1. So for a 1.5 cups, we'll need 3 cups. 3 cups of water. Here we have 2. That's 3. And like I said, feel free to create. We're gonna throw a little chicken bouillon in there just to give it a little more flavor to that rice when enjoying it. And although I shook it, I can promise you it's about half a tablespoon. Remember, this is your salt, so you don't want to go too heavy on it. We'll get our whisk, mix that around a little bit. And we're gonna turn on this back burner. We're gonna let that come to a roaring boil. And now we want to mix our tasso around. And soon to come, we'll have these custom engraved with Manny's melting pot. And I'm sure y'all can go onto our website, www.mannysmeltingpot.com, and check it out. And like I said, here in Southeast Texas, here in Beaumont, it's getting chilly. It's gonna be really chilly tonight, and tomorrow's gonna be, I think the high for tomorrow is like, I don't know, 60, something like that. But the low, it's definitely gonna get low. It's probably like 40s. So if you're up north, yeah, that's cold to us. We like that Texas heat. All right, we're gonna turn the fire up, the burner up a little more on this. We want to get a nice sear to it. If you have a little bit of, I wouldn't call it burn, but if you char it a little bit, hey, that's more flavor. We got our beans on high, we got our rice on high. And as soon as we're done searing this, we're gonna take it out, put it into a bowl, and we're gonna get our veggies going. We're gonna get those simmered down and then mix it all in.
Yeah, it's hard to be in here now.
Hey,
I'm ready to eat.
as soon as it gets a sear, I always taste test it. You always gotta taste test it.
Yeah, right.
I mean, let me make sure this sausage is cooked.
Yeah. That's why my mom never had an appetite for eating.
Right.
Taste test.
Yeah, and I like to pretend like I didn't eat at all. Get my plate. Oh, I'm so full.
Yeah, man. That's so good. It's that good. So you put your foot in it, right?
Oh yeah.
You're about to show them how to do it.
Yeah, we do that off camera, so.
Yeah, that's a secret.
Yeah.
It's a special finesse.
And for those of you that don't know that term, put your foot in it, put your ankle in it, that means that the chef really puts flavor to it. It's really seasoned. You don't have to worry about being too salty, too spicy. You know, you want everything balanced out. So a real, I wouldn't call it umami of flavors because there's nothing sweet in this, but I mean,
it blends well.
It does blend well.
That's a compliment.
Or like I said, if you use we're using a jalapeno sausage, which usually I use a Beasley or Zumos or Savoys and Dewey or green onion sausage. And this time I want to do something different. I want to give it a little kick to it. So, but if I do see those cranberry sausages, so if you do add it, they'll definitely have an umami of flavors. All right, so now you got your testo right here. You just want to mix that around. It is that testo on the sausage is gonna release its oils, you know, the grease. So you want to let that cook down. That's why you want it on medium high. You can even go high. I mean, as long as you're watching it, you can go high. We got our beans boiling, nice raw. And you see that I use the same spoon because it's all gonna get mixed together. We want all the flavors to combine. We got about a minute left on the beans, but we're gonna go a little longer. As long as we're still cooking on this side, then we're still cooking on this side. Like I said, if you didn't soak your beans overnight, you want to make sure those beans are going to be soft by the time you use them. You don't want to bite into no hard beans. When we say not your typical, we don't mean uncooked. Definitely not your typical flavors, not your typical style, but with definitely some attitude. Done with a modern twist. Alright, so I got this flame on high. It's definitely getting nice and crispy. Definitely. Jalapeno sausage has some kick to it. Spiced really well. Definitely a premium sausage. I can see why this sausage has won awards. So, and I believe they're based out of Houston, Texas, if I'm not mistaken. So there's our timer. We're just gonna turn that down. No, we're gonna leave it on high. We're gonna leave it on high. We'll cook it fast. You want some sausage, sir?
Yes, sir.
Here you go. I'm gonna hand that to you with my glove.
Thank you, sir.
And you notice I never let it touch my mouth, my glove, because you know we still won't be able to use the gloves. If not, take them off, put on some new ones. You never want to touch your hands, your eyes. Food safety is #1, so we want to make sure not people enjoy it, but don't get sick.
Yeah, that jalapeno sausage works.
All right.
Yeah,
I think it's definitely gonna give it some Texas heat. And I can see the inside of my pan starting to brown up a little bit. I love that. That means the sausage is starting to brown up like that. And that's why we want to mix it if you're on high. All right, so we'll go ahead and dump that into our bowl right here. And we want to be safe, not sorry. So we'll make sure to have the proper gear next time. Go ahead and dump that in. And all that is flavor. We want that. You want that in there. Go ahead and drop your veggies in. Voila. Just like that. As you know, welcome to the pot where the flavors all clash. Started right here with this pot. Now, all joking aside, this is the first pot I ever had. It was given to me by my mother, who does a lot of late night Amazon shopping and over order stuff, and realized she already ordered the same thing, so I got a win on this one. But yeah, this pot really it really made me want to start using it and watching, you know, YouTubers and different lessons that were taught to me in this industry on, you know, how to blend things together, how to render things down, how to make reductions. So this pot's special. So in retrospect, this is where it all started.
Your mom, you learned cooking from the ladies, huh?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So I'm raised by 3 strong women. My mother, my grandmother, and my eldest sister. And yeah, definitely they inspired me to grasp a hold of this essential life skill that we don't realize people put a lot of love and labor into.
You're cooking for your girls and your wife.
That, and at the end of the day, you know, the easiest way to connect with somebody is over a plate of food. You can get. We don't want this to burn at all. We don't want that burn flavor, so we're gonna go down to right at medium. I'm gonna check that flame and everything.
Using food to bring us together.
Yes, sir. All right, so we're still mixing around our veggies. You're gonna let those render down till they're all soft. Because there's a lot of veggies in there. My kids, if they saw it, yeah. I always tell them this is how you get that flavor. You want to let that cook down for about 15 to 20 minutes. If you're going low and slow, it's going to be about 30. But you can go low and slow, especially if you're a beginner. I'm not going to say an amateur, you know, a beginner learner. Then you can definitely rather go slow, because I think that was the toughest part for me, is just figuring out the heat levels of things. So we had our beans over here boiling the whole time. I just actually turned it off though. Alright, so we've had the beans boiling, and that's okay. There's no problem to that. But I'm gonna go down to medium. Nothing's gonna happen if they're just boiling the whole time. It'll lose some water, you can add some more, or some more broth. No problem there. Alright, once these veggies are rendered down, you're gonna take your gesso and your sausage, you're gonna mix it in. You're gonna get all of those drippings. All that flavor. Alright. Mix it around. Now we're gonna let it cook down with it. Alright, so this is what this recipe calls for. Alright, we're gonna add what the recipe calls for right here while this is simmering down, and then we're gonna add it when we add the broth. Alright, so my rice is boiling, so I'm gonna put the lid on it. And I am gonna go down to low. We're gonna set a timer for, you know, you're supposed to go 15 minutes.
I go 25.
And I guess that all depends on if you like sticky rice, you know, you like it, just, you know, the different textures of it. So depending on how much water you have, how long you let it steam for. So we want that rice done.
You can't rush perfection.
Right? We want that rice cooked.
You should have some day. I'm like, Mom, hurry up. It's like, no. You gotta wait.
You do have to wait.
You gotta wait.
And my favorite part is here in a minute, once we add the seasoning, is tasting that. So look at that. And that's what I mean about the red bell pepper. It calls for 1 bell pepper, but it'll always add more flavor and definitely that color. All right, so we will start. All right, so our borderline Cajun seasoning, or any seasoning of your choosing, but definitely the borderline. We're gonna do a tablespoon. Pour that in there. We're gonna do a teaspoon of garlic powder. I like to set these to the side open because we're gonna use them in just a minute. All right. We're gonna do, oh, I spilled all the parsley. That's okay, we'll clean it up. 1 teaspoon of parsley flakes. And we'll get that mess in just a minute. 1 teaspoon of Worcestershire. 1 tablespoon of A1. And remember, we're doing this not your typical, more soupy, so you want to get that Maggi Google. And if you can't find it, look in the, I think it's called the Hispanic cow. It says it up there on the signs. But definitely, alright? We're gonna add a teaspoon of the Google, which is called juice, translates to juice. Alright. And then I'm gonna go ahead and add my bay leaves. We're gonna add 2 bay leaves. 1, 2, and then we'll pull those out at the end. Alright. We're gonna do a tablespoon of chicken bouillon. And remember, that's your salt right there. And we're just gonna add just a little dash of pepper. Mix that around. Oh wow, that smells amazing. And don't burn yourself, guys. Just there you go, just like that. That smells amazing. See the sear on the sausage, veggies nice risen down. I mean, it's gonna melt in your mouth. It really is. And this is why I say I like to try it. So. And then it is an umami of flavors because you get the sweetness of the onion. So you can try that sauce.
Yes, sir.
And you gotta realize when you try this, you get to see, do I need to add a little more? Is it too salty? What do I need to do if it's too salty? You're definitely gonna balance it out. So if it's too salty, do a little more chicken broth. Balance it out. This, perfect. You gotta realize that if you're like, it needs a little more salt, remember, it's still gonna lock in the flavors. So you don't wanna add too much salt and it locks in and it's too salty. Anybody can make it salty, but can you make it flavorful? We wanna go for flavorful. All right, the flavors are all nice and looking good in here. We're gonna add our pot of beans. You get your pot of beans. And usually you want to go away from you, not like I just did, towards me. That way if it does splash, it doesn't splash in your face. And you see those beans are nice and swollen. We didn't soak them, so boiling them definitely gave it that, mimic that effect. Go ahead and turn your burner off. Look at that, oh my goodness. Alright, so this is the test right here. You definitely want to test that broth out. Mix it up a little bit. And it's really hot, y'all, so yeah, please be careful. You gotta blow it like mama used to do that. Don't burn yourself, because you're gonna regret it. If you burn your tongue now, you're gonna regret it when you start eating your dish, because your tongue's gonna be burnt. You're gonna be like, man, I wish I hadn't done that. So I'm definitely not, I'm gonna do even less. See, it's good, but remember I said we're gonna season it twice. So the recipe really calls for it once, if you want to do it that way. We put our mouth in that, so we won't put that in the sink, but we're gonna do it again. All right, so we're gonna do a tablespoon of A1. If you go a little over, that's fine. This time, instead of doing a teaspoon, we're gonna do a tablespoon of Worcestershire. Throw that in there. Teaspoon of Google. Toss that in. Alright. Tablespoon of Cajun seasoning. We're gonna be careful here. We're gonna do, there we go. A little over a teaspoon of garlic powder. Alright, and with the parsley that we didn't spill, we're gonna have about a teaspoon. All right. Now you mix, you hear it boiling. That's perfect. But you know what, we forgot the chicken bouillon. I already threw my spoon, so I'm just gonna add a little to the top, about a tablespoon and a half. Now I'm gonna taste it again. Like I said, it's definitely a labor of love. But you're gonna put some work in. Whatever you do, you gotta put the work in. That's good. That's real good, y'all. Alright, so typically you would add 2 more cups of water. We're gonna do about a cup and a half. So I like the flavor. We did just add water. So what does that do? That balances out the flavor. I didn't think it was too salty. So this will be the last time I check it, season it, cover it, and let it simmer. Alright, go let it. It's good. I feel like it could use a dash, and I mean a dash of A1, a little dash of Worcestershire, and a little more bouillon. And I know for the beginners, like, no, how much did he add? You're just sprinkling it. Don't go heavy. Don't go crazy. Don't go heavy-handed. And you know why I'm not gonna try that? Because I know it's right now. I know it is. All right. We'll cover that up. We'll bring that down to a medium low. And I'll come back and show y'all. We want a small boil in there, but not too hot. So we still have 15 minutes on our rice. Take a break, we'll do some cleanup, and we'll be back. All right, I got the lid on the pot. Now we're gonna let it simmer for 1 hour. We're gonna come back and check it. Here in about 5 or 10 minutes, I'm gonna come back, open the lid, and you can mix it around. For those of you that are like, I gotta check it, don't keep checking it. You can open it every 15, 25 minutes and stir it up a bit if you'd like. And yeah, I'll show y'all exactly, you know, what it looks like on the surface. That way you can gauge your heat. That was the biggest issue for me, and I want y'all to be aware of that. So, you know, you can cook like Manny too. All right, while you have your rice finishing up, we got about 5 minutes left on the rice. We turned our heat down to medium lowish, and now we're gonna do the cornbread. So, folks, if you're cooking and you cough into your shoulder. Coughing behind your hand, that's gross. Preheat the oven to 400. We got the oven preheated, so we're gonna start making the cornbread. Yes, we're gonna use Jiffy. We can make it from scratch on a different episode. Bacon drippings and everything. Alright, just rip that open. Put your bag of Jiffy cornbread. Alright, after you add your cornmeal in, you're gonna have 1/3 cup of milk, whole milk, 2%. All right, you wanna get some sugar, and we're gonna do 1 teaspoon of sugar. And I'm gauging it as I'm pouring it over. All right, you have 1 teaspoon of sugar, just a dash of salt, a can of cream corn. All right, you're gonna add 1 egg. And you're gonna get to whisking. All right, as you mix this, you're going to get a little bit of your honey, and we just want a drizzle. Make a W. A W. Mix that in there. There ain't nothing worse than some dry cornbread. I can't stand that. And it already smells amazing. So you got your cornbread ready. We got some pan cooking spray, perfect release. Shake your bottle up. Ooh. Write your name. No, don't write your name. Alright. And just pour it in there. Normally I use a spatula. We'll have it on here next time. You'll get all your products. Spoken like a true business owner. Alright. Get rid of that. Get your honey. Be creative. Alright, so now you have your cornbread, and we're going to place it in the oven. Alright, so we'll leave that alone. Remember, we still have an hour for this to cook, so we'll let that do its thing, and we'll come back and check on the cornbread. Alright, so we'll turn our timer off. Remember, we added, what, 6, 7 more minutes, something like that? Look at that. You see nothing? Just a little bit, but it is green corn. But I promise you it's definitely done. We'll pull that out. Put our rice back here. Let that cool for a minute. And then we'll flip it over and release it. Ready? Look at that. One little bad spot, but that's okay. I always try the corner anyways, that's my favorite part.
Yeah, we're gonna share that.
Yeah, absolutely. Man, I'm gonna wait. I'm not gonna burn myself because I want to enjoy my meal. But just like that, a perfect release. And then what I do, like, you can leave it like that, or you can put it on a pan and flip it back over. I just always like to look at it, make sure I didn't burn it. And we even could have went a little longer, a little crispier, so you can always do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, the not your typical red beans and rice is almost ready. And of course you gotta have something to drink with that. So we're just gonna make a quick spritzer. Here I have a glass of crushed ice. I just put a slice of lemon on top, a lemon twist, just a little bit of Sprite, a sugar-free strawberry lemonade, and there you go. You got yourself a strawberry lemonade spritzer. All right. So now that we got the rice done, the cornbread done, now the red beans and rice. So this has been simmering for an hour now. We're just gonna turn that off. All right, normally you wanna let that sit a few minutes, but of course we're ready to try it. So I just wanna open this up and, oh wow, I mean this whole house smells amazing right now. All right, so I'm just gonna grab a bowl, grab our ladle. Look at that. Make sure you don't eat the bay leaf. When I say not your typical, and this is what I mean by it. Absolutely. So, just want to get a good amount there. Get our rice. Gotta put that flavor. And remember, we want to taste the flavor. Because you got to taste the hype, because we different. We don't taste the flavor. You got to taste the hype for real, for real. Alright, so now we'll come over here. Set that down. Look at this cornbread, y'all. Look at that cornbread. Of course, you know we gotta get an edge piece. Who cuts it like this, right? No, I'm just kidding. Look at that. Put that cornbread in there. I like those end pieces, nice and crispy. That's really good. You cannot have red beans and rice without Tabasco. You know, there's people that immediately they get their food, they put salt and pepper on it. I always say try it first, but you can't have red beans and rice without Tabasco and cornbread. All right, this is looking good. What do y'all think? Y'all think it looks good?
Oh yeah, can't wait.
I know you can. All right, here we go.
Probably hot.
Y'all ain't gotta see what the hype's about, but you definitely gonna taste it. We different. Get you some of that cornbread. Oh. I'm telling y'all, we are not the same. So there you have it. Not your typical red beans and rice with cornbread and a strawberry lemonade spritzer. Alright, y'all be sure to like and subscribe and follow us for the next episode. Thank you.